Let's talk about creating momentum to drive your design work. Now, this is huge. This is part of the reason I do design boot camps, why I created a program. But very often, I see people who will get very excited on this new journey. They don't have a lot of clarity, they're not exactly sure what they want to design. But if you can drive that momentum in a very, very tight path, then you can really build an amazing design business. So, let me just tell you guys a little bit about design boot camps so you can understand how that helps drive momentum. Even for those who do not end up in my design program, the reason I do it is because people get very excited because they start to understand the basics of creating a great design business, which is very exciting for me. So it's 5 days long. And the reason we do it for 5 days is because it gives me an hour every single day, and then it gives time, basically 24 hours between every time you've worked with me or talked with me or been in one of my trainings to then think about your own business. And every day I try to give a few things that you can start thinking about so that you can be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Carina said to do this. If I start thinking about this, it will give me clarity and I can start on my path so that by the end of the week, you have a lot of clarity about what you want to do, a lot of excitement, and then the goal is that you then go and implement. So you have like a first step to know what you need to do. That's why those are so powerful. So let's talk about other things that might excite you. So maybe you join like an art class, like maybe you join like an online watercolor class, or maybe your local community center has a really great art class for you. And you go and you join it and you start painting and you start doing this thing that really lights you up and brings you a ton of joy. So that is creating some drive, right? And then from that, you should take that momentum to be like either create more artwork or to figure out how to sell it digitally or whatever it needs to be, right? That's why I love, in particular, classes. I love teaching classes and I love going to classes. I am personally in a lot of classes because I learn so much and that builds momentum for me so that I can drive whatever I'm working on at the time. And this doesn't work just for design, you guys. This also works for relationships. So I've mentioned on here before, I totally believe in therapy. I've been to a lot of therapy. My kids are in therapy. My husband and I have been to therapy before. I think that therapy drives momentum, right? So in times of your life where you need some help, it will help shape the way you start thinking and give you mind shifts so that you can get to wherever you're trying to go, right? And I think there are lots of times in our lives where everything feels very neutral or even like kind of like blasé, like you're kind of just like, ugh, like it doesn't feel like anything. And very often it's those people in particular that I see joining me in design, because they're looking for something that lifts them up. They're looking for the ability to have that creativity again and get to that next level again. And I just want to tell you that that happens because we do something on purpose to create momentum. So for you today, if you want to do this in tiny steps, maybe it's not joining a class, maybe it's not joining something. Instead, maybe the momentum for you is to go on Pinterest and see some cool things people are creating and not copy it, but instead model and think, you know what, I am going to make something cool today too. Like it feels inspiring to you and you're like, you know what, I'm going to make something amazing and cool today as well. And so then you hop on your computer, you get on Illustrator and you start drawing and you start making. You guys, momentum is built simply because it's coming from the feeling of excitement. And so we have to do things to keep ourselves excited every day. Usually excitement doesn't just happen to us. Sometimes it happens by accident, but most of the time it happens because we have chosen to do something. We have chosen to look on Instagram and get excited about something. We've chosen to attend a course. We've chosen to join a program. We have chosen to go to the museum. These are actions. We are creating momentum by choosing to create actions. Don't you think that's interesting? So those of you who haven't felt excitement for a while and you haven't been able to build momentum, what are you not doing? And the answer is right there in the question. You're not doing. When we are not doing, it really leaves us stale. It keeps us in the same place. And I've talked about creative mojo before, and the reason I talk about it for designers is because we all need it. And very much, I get asked all the time, is my creativity or my ideas, are they going to, once I use them, are they going to be gone and I won't have any more? That is not the way creativity works. Creativity is an awful lot like glitter. Anybody watch the Barbie Life in the Dream House? My kids are really into it. It makes me laugh because they talk about glitter as being something that reproduces, or recreates, like you get some glitter and suddenly you have lots of baby glitter and there's glitter everywhere. That is the way creativity is. Creativity just builds on itself. It creates more creativity. And it's such an interesting thing. It is people who are holding it back, pushing it in. Those are the ones that are losing that creative inspiration. So if you are feeling worried or you feel like you haven't been creative for a while, it's simply because you haven't flexed that muscle for a little while. So what you're going to do is you're going to create excitement for yourself. There are lots of ways to do this, right? We can do this by actually getting up and going somewhere. We can look on social media or get on our phones and look at Pinterest, right? We can go get inspired by artists that we adore. For me, I will pull up a little bit of Monet's work and I get very excited and ready to start the next design for myself. Very often it's not even derivative. It's just more about creating the excitement to create. That's why we got here. That's why we're doing what we're doing, is because we're so excited to just simply create, which is so powerful in and of itself. So I hope that you have a chance today to create some momentum for yourself, which is simply another word for excitement, and then take that, the momentum, which, the word itself is an action, right? Momentum is an action. It's moving you, okay? And so you're taking that excitement and using it to move you to do something amazing with yourself, okay? Guys, your creativity is limitless. It is limitless. So go out there, go drive some momentum so that you can create. And by honestly simply spending time creating every single day, you will get there. You will build an amazing design business. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.